station 9. Tank, 100 meters, push and pull. That's 5 down and backs, if you want to count. So you're gonna do 5 pushes, 5 pulls. There's 2 different tanks you'll see. One, the torque tank, it's got 4 wheels. And then you also see the ZBEX. The standards are different for each gender per tank, but check with a local affiliate and they will tell you that, or look it up in the rule book. You're gonna be tired when you get here, so here's some tips on how to not die when you get to the tank. First of all, the start. The tank, the torque tank has silver bolts. Here's the starting line. The bolts have to be here. When you push that way and you pull back, they have to approach this line. On the ZBEX, the 3-wheeled tank, there's not silver bolts, but there's a closest piece to you. Also has to approach the line. So here's the tips. When you push it, when you're fresh, you can run this thing like an offensive lineman. Not gonna happen when you're in the race because you're 9 stations in. You're not gonna have any explosive energy left. So here's my tip. Put your weight on the tank as much as you can, lean into it, and just walk. 1, 2, 3. Figure out how many steps it takes you to do the length if you have a tank to practice with. It's 21 for me. It's probably gonna be less for you if you're shorter, but who knows. Anyways, mental games here are very important. So for me, mentally, when I'm on the tank, I'm just counting to 21 on the push. I'm not trying to go fast, I'm just counting to 21. That's keeping my mind occupied so it doesn't tell me I'm tired or it hurts or I should quit or all those negative things. Just count to 21. Big distraction. Also, the way the tank works, it's magnetic resistance. So the harder you push, the more it resists. It's the opposite of a sled, which you've seen in maybe high rocks, with the skis and the weights. That gets easier as you push it harder because the friction is decreased because you're pushing. This one gets harder. So people don't understand that until I give them this analogy. A little kid can push the men's weights on the tank. A little kid cannot push the men's weights on a high rock sled. So if you are trying to give it all you got to get it moving, it's resisting more. You're spending a lot of energy. Say you're spending 10 units of energy to move it 10 meters. Would you rather spend 5 units of energy to move it 10 meters? We talked about efficiency during this whole video series. That's huge. Muscle activation. Got to shout out Strive Shorts, theme of everything. So on the push, you're using glutes, hamstrings, quads. We're using it all, baby. And then when we get to the end, we'll do a little chest press. We'll have our handles ready. I'll show you a transition in the later part of the video. Now when we're walking back, you got 2 options. You can do the slow walk back method or rear sled drag. This method is using all quads, 100%. So, however long it takes you to walk backwards, you have time under tension on your quads. That's gonna blow you up. It's gonna hurt. Your quads are gonna stop wanting to work. So then when you get to the line and it's time to push again, your quads are gonna work, but it's gonna hurt. You're not gonna be able to go fast. So, the other method is the pullback method. The pullback method uses a lot more explosive energy, which you're not gonna have much of. So I'm not expecting you to do a huge pull, a huge pull, a huge pull, a huge pull. But instead of walking backwards for 20, 30 seconds and blowing up your quads, walk back like halfway and then hips back and rip. Walking, 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 pop, pull, and it comes faster. And then that moment that it's coming at you, there's slack here equals recovery here. So if your quads are full of lactate and you rip it, you get a little bit of a rest. So those are my tips for the tank. As far as transitions go, this is a great way to save energy and not waste time. You actually save a lot of time. Transition tip number 1. You get off the dead balls, you come over here. Don't take time fishing out while you're lunging. Let me get my handles ready. All right, 15, 16 wasted seconds, and then we start. Instead, I had 21 steps till I get to the line. You might have 25 more steps. Start pushing. You got your chest up here. You can put your forearms here, whatever it takes. You're pushing. Now you can fish it out, figure out your handles, adjust, all while the wheels are moving. You want those wheels turning the whole time. Now when you get to the end, so that's to get the handles out. Now we want a fast transition when we get to the end. So we gotta make sure these bolts get completely over the far line. completely over. They're over. Now I'm stepping back, starting my walk back. Now as I approach the starting line, pull, hits the line, grab, go. So in summary with the tank, a few key things to remember. One, you're going to be tired. So practice this fresh and get the form down, just like the dead balls, but then practice it fatigued, so that way your body knows how it's going to feel when you're pushing this thing and you're catching your breath or your legs don't work or not. Two, the handles. Don't waste time fishing them out. When you get to the end, don't throw them in, because then when you get back, you got to fish them out again. Handles. Always keep the wheels moving. Push, that's the time to fish with the handles. And get them in your hands, push, extend, walk it back. Intensity, goal, the push, controlled, count to whatever number it takes you to get there. If you don't know and it's your first DEKA ever, great, just count. 1, 2, 3, whenever you get to the end, great, 30. All right, start walking back, get a big pull, walk back, maybe get another big pull, go. Now we're counting to 30 again because that's our number. But play mental games with yourself, because at this point in the race, you're gonna be tired. We wanna occupy our, you can't do this, brain. And then on the pull, the last thing is, you could do the walk back method if you want to, but 5 rounds of that is really gonna destroy your quads. And you still gotta run after this if you're doing DEKA mile or DEKA fit. So keep that in mind. Either way, you got burpees, so we wanna spare the quads, just one more station. So walk it back if you need to. At least get one big pull in midway through the walk back, just to break it up so you're not having 20, 30, 40 seconds of a rear sled drag blowing up your quads. That's it for station 9. Have fun with the burpees, you're almost done.